Okay, we got a question here from one of our regular subscribers and commenters, and he wants to know, how can I stop overthinking life and philosophy? He's not talking about overthinking, how am I going to pay my bills, or does she like me, or this and that. He's talking about like higher, this is the higher conceptual mind overthinking itself, okay? And I know this very well because when I started like really delving into Buddhism, and I found out about the Four Noble Truths. I found about them many years ago, but it was only really hit me last year when I took a course on Buddhism. It really started to hit me, the truths in the Four Noble Truths, right? That like they're four noble in their truths indeed. And so I would spend hours before bed just thinking about that. Like thinking about it. I would only get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep because all I'm thinking about is the Four Noble Truths. And like it's like my third eye is wide open in that sense. And it's just thinking like, oh my God, that's why this happened in my life. And that's why this person is in that predicament. Oh my God, everything is impermanent, this and that, right? So he's wondering, how do you stop overthinking? How do you stop that from happening? How do you do that? So I talked about this before, the story, but I'll talk about it again. Buddha was hanging around with his disciples, the monks, and they were kind of hanging around, chilling out. I assume it was a nice sunny day because there was flowers, and it's a story about a flower. So Buddha picks up this flower, right, and he gives it to his disciples and says, "Describe this flower to me." First disciple looks at the flower and says, it's got this texture and it looks like this and that. Buddha takes the flower, says, okay. Goes to the next disciple, describe this flower to me. Well, this flower has this interesting shape. It grows in this specific way. It needs these specific conditions to grow. Buddha says, nods his head, says, okay. Goes to the next disciple, asks him the question. His disciple gives him another analytical answer. Then finally, he arrives at a disciple, and he gives him the flower and says, describe this flower to me. And the disciple starts laughing. He starts laughing. He keeps laughing and laughing and laughing. Buddha takes the flower, says, well, you get it. This guy gets it. You get it. Because the moral of that story is that although it is good to contemplate life and it is good to use your analytical mind, you can't forget to simply enjoy it and simply appreciate its beauty, appreciate its magnificence without attaching any words and concepts to it. And that was the moral of the story, really. The moral of the story is stop attaching so many concepts and words to things and simply appreciate them as they are. And truly, if you're going to appreciate a flower, you don't know its name, you don't care about its name, you just look at the flower and you literally laugh. I mean, that's I laugh now because that is when I am like really in a high state and I look at a flower and I start laughing, that's how I know I'm in a high state. But if I look at the flower and I try to analyze it, then I know I'm not in a high state. Okay, and that truthfully, the higher you are, the more you just become appreciative of things as they are rather than analyzing them. And so that's how you stop overthinking life, is by appreciating the beauty of life, the magnificence of life, and balancing it out, because we still like to think in concepts. We still got this itch in us, inside of us, to want to know things, and it's healthy. I mean, the Buddha laid out the Four Noble Truths. He laid out basically the way it is with his conceptual analytical mind. You see? So we have this itch. It's only natural for us to want to explore ourselves conceptually with our mind, because you are pure mind at the end of the day. And so we do want to know things. We do want to know, and that's part of the game. Is we want to know ourselves, and we use our conceptual thinking and analytical mind to do that. We are the only species, maybe dolphins also, but as far as we're aware, we're the only species on this planet with such complex thoughts and complex analytical thoughts. We have a large prefrontal cortex, and so we are higher up on the evolutionary ladder, and so we have these devices, their brains, to do these wonderful, incredible things. I mean, you can sit here, meditate, and put yourself, put your brain in a certain wave. You have, as a human being, you have a lot of power inside of you, within you. And it's only natural, it's only normal for us to want to analyze things, to put them into words and concepts. But we have to also transcend that at some point and appreciate life as it is, and allow the beauty of life, allow appreciation, the appreciation vibration to engulf your life, to become part of your life, and perhaps the foundation of your life. And from that foundation, you could go on thinking and analyzing and abstracting, because believe me, if you're living in a state of appreciation, you don't have to think much, because the truth will come to you just effortlessly. You'll just know things. You'll just be like, oh yeah, of course, reincarnation. Oh, of course, the Four Noble Truths. You'll just know them. You'll know them without having to read, without having to think. And how do you do that? Slow down your breath. I talked about this in several videos. You slow down your breathing, because if your breath is your tuning knob, right? If you're able to slow down your breathing, you can't help but appreciate. If you're practicing 1-2 hours a day of just slowing down your breathing, just being in slow breathing, you can't help but appreciate. You just get in an appreciative state of mind. But funny enough, in that appreciative state of mind, it's not like your analytical mind's gone. No, it's still thinking, but it's only picking up on like higher shit, truths. And it knows things. It doesn't have to overthink them, and it just knows them. It just sees with the eye of wisdom. It just sees it. It knows things. And you're just so appreciative. You sit in the beautiful sun. Like, man, I can't, of course I'm in the shade right now, because, this is mid-afternoon sun, and it's a hot day. But like, I lay around in the sun in the morning, and I'll lay around in the sun a little bit maybe after finishing these videos. And like, I'm not thinking about the sun. I'll close my eyes, take off my shirt. No, just bathe in the sun. I don't need to think about how hot it is, or how far away it is from here, or what's the lifespan of it, or... No. I could do that, or I could watch a documentary about the sun. See, when it's winter here and we don't get the sun, I'm sitting at home, laying even, watching documentaries about the sun. Okay? But when it's sunny, like, I don't even have time to watch documentaries right now. Are you kidding me? This is the documentary. This is it. This is it. Right here is it. This is a documentary. I'm living it. I don't have to know anything. I don't want to know anything with my analytical mind. You see? So you appreciate, you just appreciate things. You slow down your breathing and you appreciate things as they are. And then that you don't have to overthink. And then all the thoughts that you need to hear will be delivered to you in that state, because you're now tuned into a higher vibration. Okay? And keep in mind that thought is the play of the divine. Thinking about all these things is just God's way of playing with itself. I mean, we're in a hide and seek game, right? So thought, at the end of the day, it's just like picking up a toy and playing with it. It's a toy at the end of the day. It's a toy. And thinking is really a toy. It's just the play of the divine. It's just a play of the divine. The ego, thought is ego. Thought equals ego. That's it. Thought equals ego. So The ego is God's way of getting lost in the game of separation, the illusion of separation, and finding its way back to the oneness, to the source, to the whole. And that's what thought is. So if you just don't take it at that, don't carry it any beyond. Look at it as a toy that I'm toying with words here. We're toying with thoughts and concepts. Folks, all we're doing here is toying. But if you want to know the truth, go lay in the sun, close your eyes, take off as much of your clothes as possible, and that's the truth. Okay? Thank you to all the Patreons who support this channel. You guys are amazing and awesome. I love you guys, and I'm very appreciative of your support. I'm very appreciative. And I'm just as appreciative of our potential new Patreons who are too lazy to pick up their credit card and buy me a cup of mushroom tea for $2 a month. Still appreciative of your appreciation wherever you are, however you're supporting, by watching, commenting, liking, or just observing, or just hating even. That's a form of support. All of it. I'm appreciative. Thank you very much. And if you would like to book a one-on-one consultation to talk about anything ranging from your health, the state of affair of your asshole, fasting, and psychedelics, microdosing, consciousness, you name it, we can talk freely and openly. And if you would like to contact me for a video request, you could do so down below. All the links for what I just said in the description. Patreon, consultations, video request. And that's about it. I love you guys. I'm appreciative of your support, and I'm appreciative of myself also. I make some dope videos, don't I? And until next time, may the force be with you.